On Global TV News Prime, President Tinubu vows to end plateau killings, says too many have died. In business, Central Bank of Nigeria takes steps at eliminating price distortions and enforcing transparency in the fixed income market. On the foreign scene, Benin Republic lawmakers approve 7-year presidential term. And in sports, 2026 World Cup playoff final between Nigeria and DR Congo kicks off in Rabat. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Shehu Said. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. We begin with security. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has intensified efforts to restore lasting peace in Plateau State with the deployment of a federal peace emissary, Abiodun Eset, who concluded a 2-day engagement with religious leaders, traditional rulers, community groups and youth representatives in the state. Eset, the senior special assistant to the president on community engagement North Central, arrived Plateau meeting separately with Christian clerics and Fulani Mieti Allah leaders before convening a broad town hall meeting in Jos. The party, which brought together delegates from various local government areas, traditional rulers, women leaders and youth groups, focused on strengthening community-based peace structures and promoting coexistence among diverse ethnic and religious communities in the state. And to politics, the People's Democratic Party PDP has elected former Minister Kabiru Tanimu as its new national chairman after he polled 1,516 votes at the party's national convention in Ibadan, Oyo State. The exercise also saw the expulsion of Nelson Wike, Ayodele Fayoshe, Samuel Anyau, and 8 others over alleged anti-party activities and internal sabotage. However, the decision quickly stirred division within the PDP as Governors Ahmadu Fintiri and Caleb Mutfwang publicly rejected the expulsions, warning they could worsen the party's internal crisis. Meanwhile, the new Nigeria People's Party is pushing back hard against what it calls an attempt to mislead the nation's electoral body. The party is warning the Independent National Electoral Commission to ignore a notice announcing proposed congresses and a convention allegedly issued by 2 individuals the party insists have no legal standing within its structure. Anita Patrick has the details.
In Abuja, the leadership of the new Nigeria political party took a firm stance, declaring that no parallel congress or convention has been approved by the party. Addressing journalists, the National Secretary, Comrade Ogini Olakposi, Sunday said the party is appalled by what he describes as a deliberate attempt to create confusion ahead of its internal activities.
It is on that note that we have written a letter through my humble self and our lawyer to Independent National Electoral Commission to disregard any letter for notice of congresses or convention, fresh notice of congresses and convention of the Nigeria People's Party.
Ogini insisted that Dr. Ahmed Ajunji and Dikbo Olayokun, who circulated the notice, lack any authority to speak or act on behalf of the NNPP. He anchored the party's position on a judgment delivered by an FCT High Court on April 3, 2025. He says the court dismissed their suit and reaffirmed the legitimacy of the party's leadership under its founder and board of trustees, Chairman Dr. Boniface Okechukwu Anebona. He therefore urged INEC to recognize these executives and update its records accordingly.
As a judgment debtor, Dr. Ajuji and Mr. Olayoku has no right under the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to parade themselves again as the officer of this party.
As political parties prepare for the next electoral cycle, the NNPP insists that clarity and legitimacy must guide engagement with the nation's electoral umpire. For now, the party says it will continue to defend. Anita Patrick, reporting for Global TV News.
And away from politics, the House of Representatives has taken steps towards strengthening Nigeria's emergency health care capacity and improving the country's maritime and fisheries sectors. National Assembly correspondent Anita Patrick reports.
At plenary, lawmakers adopted several motions aimed at tackling critical national challenges. One of the motions mandates the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Development across the country are adequately equipped to handle emergencies.
The House convenes that if hospitals in Nigeria are equipped with robust emergency response system, needless deaths will be avoided, while Nigerians who require emergency treatment will have renewed hope.
The House urged the Health to inaugurate an ad hoc committee to immediately comprehensive audit of all medical consultants and doctors in all our teaching hospitals, including National Hospital Abuja.
Meanwhile, the Committee on Oceans and Fisheries, chaired by Akarachi Amadi, driving technology sectors. The report emphasized research, training, and workforce development to enhance maritime productivity.
Act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, Act Cap A12, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2024, to establish the Brackish Water Fisheries Research Institute, Ungo, Rivers State, and for related matters, HB 2349.
In legislative business, a bill seeking to amend the NAFDAC Act to extend regulation to herbal drugs passed second reading. The bill, sponsored by Jesse Okejo Onukalusi, aims to improve safety and standardization in Nigeria's growing herbal medicine industry.
Nigerians take a lot of what we call local herbs, and this is medicinal and help in other countries. In the light of this, Mr. Speaker, this amendment will help us to define their role, to set up a regulatory committee that will be ensure that the award that is being used, the measures are stipulated in the Act, and the usage and the way it is procured, the hygienic places are defined.
The motions and bills now move to the relevant committees for further legislative action. From the National Assembly, Aniete Patrick reporting for Global TV News.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives is pushing towards a landmark legislation that could make Nigeria the first African country to pass a dedicated child online protection law. The proposed bill seeks to shield children from online predators, harmful content, and abuse in the rapidly expanding digital space. Again, National Assembly correspondent Aniete Patrick reports.
The Child Online Access Protection Bill 2024, proposed by Representative Olumide Oshoba, has passed major legislative stages and is heading for final consideration before transmission to the Senate. Oshoba says the goal is clear: protect children from online exploitation while holding service providers accountable. He also revealed that the bill's timeline was slowed by adjustments to align with the federal government's new tax laws, especially provisions requiring service providers to contribute to online safety efforts.
We have aligned the bill to go in conjunction and sync with the new tax policy of Nigeria.
According to him, the legislation proposes strict penalties, including fines up to 10 million naira for corporate offenders and 5 million naira or imprisonment for individuals who violate the law. A major innovation in the bill is the creation of an e-commissioner, a new watchdog department under the Ministry of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy. It will monitor harmful content, order takedowns, and sanction platforms that fail to comply. Oshogba explains that agencies such as NCC and NIDA will work with the new units to ensure strong enforcement and safety oversight.
The NCC is a hands-on ministry agency, and you don't need that. They are agencies that function optimally, and they're going to be involved in making sure the digital space, because I need to commend them. They're already doing a very, very good job, but we need someone that is actually concentrating on the online space and protecting our children from harm.
If passed, this would become Nigeria's first comprehensive framework to regulate children's exposure to the internet and a major milestone in the nation's digital safety architecture. From the National Assembly, Aniete Patrick reporting for Global TV News.
And away from the legislature, the Federal Capital Territory Administration has launched a major environmental and public health campaign aimed at reducing air pollution in the nation's capital. The initiative, themed Project Breathe Clean Air Abuja, was unveiled at the Bola Ahmed Tinubu Conference Center by the Mandate Secretary for Health (FCTA) in partnership with IHS Towers. Kabir Hassan reports.
In an effort to tackle rising air pollution and promote healthier living, the FCTA, through the Mandate Secretary for Health, Adedolapo Fasawi, has unveiled a renewed campaign titled Project Breathe Clean Air Abuja. The campaign, Project Breathe Clean Air Abuja, focuses on discouraging open burning of waste, the use of firewood, indiscriminate tree cutting, and other practices that degrade air quality and endanger public health.
The focus of this is to address the renewed hope, is to tell Nigerians that if only we can put hands together and not wait for government alone, we can have a happy, peaceful, and prosperous Nigeria.
A major highlight of the event was the distribution of gas cylinders to residents and alternative means to promote clean cooking and reduce smoke-induced illness. The campaign is fully supported by IHS Towers, the project sponsors, as part of its commitment to environmental sustainability. Representative of the IHS Towers reaffirmed their readiness to partner with the FCTA in initiatives that support clean energy, environmental protection, and community welfare.
The key component of the program is first of all to give the cylinder, which is normally costly, to the beneficiaries, filled, and then we will also provide free fills few times during this program. And then for those who watched the documentary before, I mean, one of the women said that the cost of this gas is actually less than the cost of charcoal and wood, and it lasts longer. So hopefully they also will be able to sustain the use of gas going forward.
The FCTA says the campaign will be sustained across communities, noting that clear air is essential for reducing cases of asthma, bronchitis, and other respiratory diseases. Kabir Hassan reporting for Global TV News.
You are watching the live broadcast of the News Prime, when News Prime 1-0 at the moment in the 2026 World Cup playoff final in Rabat, Morocco. Details coming shortly, plus business and foreign stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. In business, the World Bank supported Ideas program has begun training over 3,000 Abuja youths in a 6-month TVET scheme backed by stronger monitoring for better outcomes. Jummai Manson reports.
In her remarks, the National Project Coordinator, Mrs. Blessing Ogu, revealed that zonal monitoring and evaluation officers have been deployed to track trainee performance and provide the Honorable Minister of Education with regular progress updates.
We're having a person per local government, adding their information to the M&E. We also have zonal M&E officers. Apart from the zonal M&E officer, there is a third-party monitoring that will, at least to assess whatever we are doing and report to the Honorable Minister of Education.
Dr. Bright Omezuke emphasized that the collaboration between the federal government commitment to job creation and national development.
What we are looking at is the enlightenment to show them to understand why they are actually here, because some of them are already in the field. We already started the training, but they are yet to understand what it's all about.
Bright Omezuke praised the ministry, the National Project Coordinator Unit, and the Joint Planning Committee for the efficiency and encouraged trainees to approach the program with dedication, noting that their skills will contribute significantly to Nigeria's future workshop. Also speaker and principal of the Federal Technical College, Orozo Omale O.A. Frank, described the Ideas TVET initiative as a milestone initiative aimed at bridging the gap between education and employment.
We view this initiative as a bold and timely response to the challenges of unemployment, underemployment, and the growing mismatch between skills and opportunities.
Frank commended the Honorable Minister and implementing partners for prioritizing youth empowerment and urged trainees to embrace the program with discipline and commitment. Some of the participants had this to say.
There are so many things I've learned that initially I did not know. Because growing up in the village, I knew about chicken, but the technology we are being taught about is way advanced.
So far, so good. What I have learned, I really appreciate TVET because I have learned how to repair hardware.
As a young graduate, I've been, thinking of how to start my life, but this opportunity coming, I'm really happy. Instead of going about looking for where to work, I feel like this is the right place to channel my strengths while I'm still young, learning the required skills, not just for now, but for the future.
Joint flag off of the Innovation Development Effectiveness in the Acquisition of Skills TVET initiative is all about entrepreneurship, and it's all about the youth, hand-on skills. Jumai Manson reporting for Global Television.
The Customs Partnership for African Cooperation and Trade, CPACT, is here.
It is a high-level conference bringing customs administration and trade experts from across Africa to shape the future of customs cooperation.
The event is happening live in Abuja, Nigeria from the 17th to the 19th of November 2025 with the theme, Breaking Barriers, Building Bridges.
And we've got an amazing lineup of keynote speakers, including His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Bashir Adewale Adeni, MFR, Comptroller General of Nigeria Customs Service.
Ian Saunders, Secretary General, World Customs Organization, WCO.
His Excellency Wamkele Mene, Secretary General, African Continental Free Trade Area, AFTA Secretariat.
Mrs. Kanayo Awani, Executive Vice President, African Export-Import Bank.
Honorable Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, MFR, Honorable Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The CPACT 2025 is powered by the Nigeria Customs Service in collaboration with the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFTA, and the African Export-Import Bank, Afrexim Bank, and supported by the World Customs Organization, WCO.
The Central Bank of Nigeria has activated its S4 electronic platform as the mandatory channel for submitting Treasury bills bits, effectively taking full control of government securities issuances. The new regime begins with a major 700 billion naira T-bills auction scheduled for November 20, marking the formal end of fiscal or proxy bid submissions by dealers. Analysts say the shift is aimed at eliminating price distortions, closing information gaps, and enforcing transparency in the fixed income market. The Midstream and Downstream Gas Infrastructure Fund has concluded discussions with leading Chinese manufacturer Endurance Group to deliver 500 compressed natural gas refueling stations across Nigeria within the next 3 years. Addressing journalists after the meeting in Abuja, Executive Director of the fund, Oluwole Adama, said the talks focused on establishing a government-backed special purpose vehicle, SPV, to be promoted by the fund, the Bank of Industry, BOI, Endurance Group, and SECO investment partners. He announced that the initiative includes the creation of the Compressed Natural Gas Automobility Infrastructure Company, CAMP, Infraco, which will oversee the deployment of 500 integrated CNG stations, development of LCNG supply infrastructure, and provision of CNG and LNG transportation trucks with truck-mounted caskets to form a nationwide virtual pipeline. Adama noted that the project will ease long queues at existing CNG stations by expanding access to refueling points and improving supply through strengthened logistics and distribution systems. Senior Advisor to the President on Special Duties and Domestic Affairs, Oluwatoyin Subair, said the project aligns with President Bola Tinubu's drive to enhance energy security by deepening the use of auto CNG and reducing reliance on petrol and diesel, particularly in the transport sector. Chief Executive Officer of Endurance Group, Eric Lin, explained that the SPV aims to build a nationwide CNG refueling, maintenance and logistics ecosystem by leasing CNG equipment to certified operators and ensuring reliable gas supply through a world-class virtual pipeline network. And we move to the foreign scene, where the National Assembly of Benin has approved a revision of the country's constitution, extending the presidential term from 5 to 7 years and creating a bicameral parliament. In a post shared on Facebook by the Assemblée Nationale du Benin, lawmakers announced that the bill was passed during a plenary session held at the Palace of the Governors in Porto Novo. According to the Assembly, 90 deputies voted in favor and 19 against, approving the amendments to the Constitution of 11 December 1990, previously revised in 2019. The Democratic Republic of Congo and the M23 rebel group have signed a U.S. and Qatar-backed framework agreement in Doha aimed at ending the long-running conflict in eastern Congo. The deal covers 8 protocols, with negotiations continuing on the remaining areas, though violence persists in several provinces despite months of diplomacy. The agreement follows earlier mediation efforts involving Rwanda and Congo that were overseen by the Trump administration. And in sports, Nigeria and DR Congo have officially kicked off their much-anticipated international football encounter, drawing massive attention from fans across the continent. The atmosphere of the stadium erupted as both teams stepped onto the pitch, each determined to secure an early advantage, while expectations are high as Nigeria fields a strong lineup, while DR Congo enters the match with confidence following recent impressive performances. And on a happy note, Nigeria is currently leading the DR Congo in the match by 1-0. The 27th Nigerian University Games NUGA 2025 basketball finals delivered electrifying matchups, with Nile University and ABU Zaria clashing in the men's final. University of Jos took on Nasarawa State University in a pulsating female showdown, an atmosphere that transformed the Unijos Sports Complex into the heartbeat of university athletics in Nigeria. Global TV sports correspondent Samuel Odi reports.
The male final between Nile University and ABU Zaria produced a tight and tactical contest, with both sides displaying strength, discipline and remarkable individual brilliance, but Nile University secured victory. In the female category, the excitement soared even higher as the home team, University of Jos, faced Nasarawa State University in a contest charged with rivalry and regional pride. The game drew support for University of Jos Gladiators as they fought to secure victory on home soil. The Vice-Chancellor of University of Jos, Professor Tanko Ishaya, expressed delight at the quality of play and the atmosphere of unity the games has fostered, and he said University of Jos exceeded its expectations. INEC Chairman Professor Joseph Amaputan applauded universities for their commitment to the growth of sport and urged Nigerian FAs to take advantage of NUGA in scouting athletes that would represent Nigeria in the global stage. The SUG president expressed gratitude to all participants for adhering to the rules of the games, and she says the next NUGA edition for universities will yield a more positive result. Amid the intensity, the event was more than just a competition. It was a celebration of youth development, sportsmanship, and growing stature of NUGA as a strategic pipeline for national sports excellence. Samuel Odi for Global Television News.
And all the main points again. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has intensified efforts to restore lasting peace in Plateau State with the deployment of a federal peace emissary, Abiodun Eset, who concluded a 2-day engagement with religious leaders, traditional rulers, community groups, and youth representatives in the state. In business, the Central Bank of Nigeria has activated its S4 electronic platform as the mandatory channel for submitting treasury bills BITs, effectively taking full control of government securities issuances. On the foreign scene, the National Assembly of Benin has approved a revision of the country's constitution, extending the presidential term from 5 to 7 years and creating a bicameral parliament. And in sports, Nigeria is currently leading DR Congo in their much anticipated international football encounter for the World Cup 2026. And a quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global TVNG. I am Shehu Said, wishing you a pleasant working week.